Monday the 17th, another edition of SportsView on TV. All the information is down at the bottom of your strip there on the bottom of the screen. Good evening, Joe, and good evening, Derwin.
Hi, boys.
Hey, boys, how's it going?
And it's another Monday, as I said. The championship soccer started slowly over the weekend. We had the championship in all the other leagues and up in Scotland as well. And we had the Community Shield played yesterday, which I watched. I don't know, don't ask me why I watched the whole lot of it, but I did. Man City versus Arsenal. 3-0 to Arsenal. On paper, it looks a convincing win. I thought the match was dreadful myself. That's my own opinion, you know. And a lot of empty seats in the stadium. I think Man City are in trouble if that's anything to gauge by in their defence. Joe, did you see it?
I did see it, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I suppose you could look at it in a couple of different ways, and I think you were alluding to that a little bit. It is the Charity Shield, so there's not a lot of stuff to be put into that. It's teams that are just getting ready for the beginning. The thing that concerned me most was how poor Man City were defensively, and Donnarumma didn't help them. You know, a goalkeeper of his quality giving up goals like that was very poor.
Yeah.
And I just, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I think I said last week, I really don't consider Maresca to be a great coach. And I think for him to be taken over after Guardiola and everything that's happened at
Yeah, it's a tough gig for him.
they've just lost Rodri and
Rodri's gone. Yeah,
Rodri is gone, and the Dutch guy is gone, and Johnny Reinders, and I really thought he had some real potential at City if he stayed there. And I looked at their midfield yesterday, and I'm looking, Kovacic, I'm sorry, but he's past his sell-by date.
He passed 4 balls into touch.
Yeah, it's like you don't go from a Rolls Royce like Rodri as a defensive midfield player, and then go to that.
Yeah,
And that is a big loss. And then Elliot Anderson, to be honest, I like him as a player, but to me, 115 million, is that what they paid for him?
Yeah.
If you were going to pay 115 million, you better be getting somebody that's top of the line. And I'm not convinced that he is top of the line. And then the other guy that they've got coming in next to him, the guy that was with the French team, under 21 French team, and then went to Morocco. To be honest, I watched him carefully after I saw that the interview with the French coach, and he said, he's still a product of the French academy system, and he's a good player. But there's a lot of good players, and there were 6 French midfield players that were already well ahead of him that he was going to get nowhere near. So I don't see how replacing a World Cup winner in Rodri and then Reinders, who had a great World Cup, in my opinion, with these two is going to make them any better. I watched the England team, and I don't think Elliot Anderson crossed the halfway line. In the England games, he didn't. his forward passing rate was, I'm hard pushed to remember him playing a penetrating ball that was of any consequence
Yeah,
in the World Cup.
There's some big shoes to fill, and they're at City with.
Yes, there are.
De Bruyne gone. Rodri.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there's some big shoes there, and
And David Silva's gone, or not David Silva, Bernardo Silva is gone
yeah,
as well. You know, so there's
And,
a lot of stuff.
Roger, what's his name? Grealish came on yesterday for Arsenal, back in Arsenal again. Jack Grealish, and he played well, I thought.
So
What was
yeah, but I mean, he came on when the game is kind of over, and
It was, yeah. No
you
pressure.
know, so.
No pressure.
But I think Jack Grealish has got his heart set and going to Everton and going there. I think that he'll fit in there a lot better, and it's the fans there have really taken to him. So I think that'd be the best for all concerned there if he was to go back there. But I mean Arsenal look pretty decent at times.
Would it be a shock, Joe, to say at this early stage of the year, and Darwin, that Man City will be fighting relegation?
Oh, I don't think they'll be fighting relegation, but I think they're going to have a very tough year of it, with all the competitions that they've got to play in. And I don't think that they'll be a favourite to win the Champions League. I would hazard a guess that they're not going to be favourites to win the Premier League.
They're playing Bournemouth in their first game. Man City, Bournemouth.
Yeah, and
That'll be tough. Bournemouth are a well-organised team.
Who's the new coach at Bournemouth? Anyone remember? I'm trying to think.
Isn't he Spanish?
I think I'm not sure if he's Spanish or he's German, something like that. I know he's an overseas guy, so that'll be very interesting to see.
Liverpool are travelling up to Newcastle. Well, at least they'll be able to buy some fuel for the winter if you don't win the match anyway, you know.
Yeah.
I think the Premier League will be interesting this year because I think
it will.
Some teams are going to be in transition, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
And I think some of the smaller teams, and I say smaller teams respectfully, but maybe a Brentford or maybe even Villa do a bit better this year.
But the team I'll be looking out for in the Premiership, my own opinion, is Crystal Palace. They have bought very astutely, and they're well organised club. They're starting off away to Everton next Saturday, but I think they had.
That's a tough place to go and play, though.
Oh, it is?
Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And then Hull City are at home against Man United.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one for Carrick, wouldn't it?
Arsenal are at home to Coventry. Another interesting match, you know.
I mean, some of these teams, like your Coventry, that's every week going to be a cup final, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. You know,
they're either going to rise to the occasion or they're going to
not
get it away from it, aren't they?
There was the championship began this weekend, and the two teams in the championship I'll be watching myself will be Southampton and Cardiff City, who are playing tonight. Southampton were beaten by Watford 2-1, but I saw most of the game. It was quite a good game. Burnley and West Ham drew 2-2. Bolton, West Brom, QPR, Swansea, and Swansea won, all won. I don't have them all. Fairview Joe lost in the last 16 of the Junior Cup the weekend.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
I just put a note there. But anyway, so the best of luck to them anyway. They have won 10 times, I think. Is it 10 times they ever won? It's the Junior Cup. It's to be parochial about things. Now, we'll just move along. We'll come back to soccer later on the program. If you want to make a comment, you can make a comment straight into the studio and we'll pick it up here for you. You know, don't be afraid. You know, it's only a few clicks on the machine. The FedEx Championship was on in golf over the weekend, and Scotty Scheffler won at minus 17, 68, 61, 68, and 66. Shane Lowry finished at plus 3, and McIlroy finished at plus 8, 25 shots behind the pinnacle. I mean, anyway, we were talking to Dublin before we started. But the DP World Tour was the Danish Open. Jeff Winter won that at minus 15. And the ladies' European Tour, the Swiss Open, and Eleanor Gibbons, first time on there, Eleanor Gibbons at minus 13. And our own Anna Foster was runner-up at minus 12. Very good finish for her. She's playing very good golf this year. Only 3 rounds in the Swiss Open. In the Portland Ladies Classic over in the States, there were 5 out of the top 8 from Thailand in the ladies' field. Now, I can't say all their names, no, I won't attempt to either, you know. Athea Titikul won it at minus 22, and I'll write it down for you later. she won the tournament at minus 22. What a cracking golfer. Lauren March was in the field, and she had a good tournament, even though she was well back, minus 3. But it goes to show, I mean, there's Gino Titikul as well. There's some very, very good golfers in the women's game, you know. And talking about Thailand, in the China Open snooker, Mark Selby beat Nippon Sengham from Thailand 10-6 in the final. Selby won 250 grand for his troubles, and Nippon won 100 grand. So, I mean, what's his name? An awful lot of the snooker players are moving to Hong Kong. You see that Jimmy White is the latest to go to Hong Kong. You know, and it's not that they don't pay any tax there. They pay less tax, I should say. It's not a tax for him, but they're able to keep
That's
more
usually a
money
good
than
reason to
that's
get them
what
to
makes
go,
sense
right?
for them.
Less taxes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It is,
Tell me
yeah.
this,
And the weather.
you know, we've been
The
talking
money.
here now for a few weeks on the golf thing. Why is it that there are so many top class female golfers from Asia at the moment?
Because I played
Yeah,
tour for a while, and parents out there see golf as a massive way of escaping, if you like. And I think the culture, Joe, is that if you look at Asian doctors, they're kind of not forced into it, but they've got parents who are pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And I think you've got that, like you've got that with the Chinese in the snooker. You've got that with the Thai girls on the ladies tour and the Korean girls. It's a way out of, I don't want to say poverty, but it's a way of raising their lives, if that makes sense.
Right.
yeah, and they are very good as well. They are very good golfers.
But they have a culture where that, like, if mum and dad says you will be doing that, and you will be doing it for X amount of hours, their culture is very much they do what mum and dad say, don't they?
Yeah, and I can go back to the time of Nancy Lopez and that era of women's golf. It was very, very unusual to see a non-American winning anything or being in contention. But now it's as you said, Joe, to see a British, Irish, or an American player in the top 10 and the ladies' tournaments is a challenge. There's no doubt about it.
I think they've just got a cultural way of doing things, Joe.
Yeah.
And if you go to a ladies' tournament, you know, if you have one local to you, just go to the practice ground on one of the practice days and see who's on the practice ground the longest. It
Right.
was the Asian girls who were there on the longest period of time.
Yeah.
Chipping, hitting balls, putting, hitting balls. And it's not that the other girls haven't got the same practice culture, but there is a different approach to it. Like there's I'm really struggling to put it across really, but I think that culture of what mum and dad says goes is very, very evident in that Asian culture.
Isn't it very true in life what mum and dad says is always turns out to be true anyway?
Yeah, but if you think about it, you know, look at the footballers. You can't be telling me, and I'm not turning this on its head. But if you think about the footballers misbehave, say Premier League players misbehave, don't they? And
Yeah.
if you watch Japan in the World Cup, none of them are back answering the referee. None of
No.
them are
No.
their fingers up saying that's a red card, that's a yellow card, send him off.
No.
If you watch that,
If you watch the Argentinian players,
no, what I'm getting at is that the parents have still got a lot of control in those cultures,
yes.
and in Britain there's less of that.
Yes. In Japan you have the extended family where you have the grandparents as well.
Yeah,
You know?
and it's just
all helping each other.
yeah, and I think a lot of those kids who are working their socks off at golf are getting out. They're not country club kids. They're not mum and dads are members at country club, and I got good at golf and all the rest of it. There isn't that culture. They're very, you know, if you take the Thai girls, they come through being caddies.
Yeah.
Because they don't get onto golf courses unless you've got a rich mum and dad.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look at the Japanese girls, that would be in a similar vein. If you went down through the college list of all the girls who are playing tier 1 college golf, the majority of them, 3/4 of them will be Asian.
There was. I saw the list. Yeah.
Those numbers in it. But you're right, you know that in the World Cup that just finished up, the Japanese men were part of that World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Every stadium that they played in, when they left,
yeah,
the dressing room was spotless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely spotless.
Yeah. There's a great video on YouTube, Joe, of where it shows the players with brushes sweeping all the mud and all the crap and all off the floor. And like you just said, the changing room was as it was when they walked into it, is the same way as they walked out of it.
Yeah.
And then that YouTube video, they then made a comparison, and I can't remember what team it was, but it was a European team.
England.
You just go, and it is, to me, they are. I'm going to use a real old-fashioned word. Every Asian pro that I played with was classy. They were polite. They did everything right.
The first person that made an impression on me in golf was Jumbo Aoki, was it? Jumbo
Ozaki.
Yeah.
You had, you think back to that era. You had Tommy Nakajima.
Yeah.
You had Asai
Aoki.
You had TC Chen, who should have won the US Open that year.
Yes.
And there was lots of them. But if you take Tommy Nakajima for example, the Open. He's got a chance of winning the Open at St Andrews. He knocks it in the roadside bunker on 17 and takes like 8 to get out.
Oh, wow.
Oh God!
I'd forgotten that.
Not once did he slam his club in the ground or have a paddy, and he didn't walk off the green like storming off and all the rest of it. He was the same person as he was when he walked into the bunker.
Just like a normal hole, yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
But you're right though. It is a culture.
Yes, it
about
is.
Everything. God, what was his name? Played for Chelsea, played for Celtic, Scottish forward Craig. can't think of his last name right now, but he was at Chelsea, and when the French boys started coming in,
Yeah.
when was his name was the
Emmanuel Petit, is it? Emmanuel Petit?
when Ruud Gullit was the gaffer there and what have you. And he said they would all go in to training every morning, all the British boys. They'd all head up to the canteen and they'd all be having bacon sandwiches, egg sandwiches, sausage sandwiches, sausage butties, whatever. All the European boys came in, morning lads, oh, come on in, have a cup of tea, have a sandwich. No, we're going up to the gym.
Yeah.
And they're all going, what? You're going up to the gym? The culture of of English soccer at that point was, no, you didn't do things like that.
No.
You know, you didn't stay back afterwards to do a lot. A few of us did, but not many stayed and did it. You know, it just wasn't a part of what was expected.
If you think about it, you know, there's some great clips and stuff, and like when Wenger went to Arsenal, you know, he went in and he had, I mean, there wasn't just a drinking culture at Arsenal, was it? When he went in.
It was.
There was every culture going on.
They had their own brewery in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, it was everything going on, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And, you know, everything was happening at Arsenal. And he went in, and I remember watching a clip where Tony Adams and Paul Merson, and I think Nigel Winterbottom, sitting there just going, we didn't know what it is. Like, what? You're not going to eat that? And like, he went into the canteen, apparently, Wenger, and said to the people in the canteen, no, this is what you took now. You took this, you took that. No, not that. No, not that. And if they ask for it, it's no, you haven't got any of it. So it stopped. And Merson, I mean, I've been to an evening, a sportsman's dinner thing, and Merson was speaking, and yes, he's very funny and entertaining. But nuts and bolts of it was like, there's a way of behaving. You're going to wear suits to the match. Your ties will be done up. Your top button will be done up. Everything was like, no, this is it. And like you just said, the culture changed drastically at Arsenal, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
You could say Wenger modernised the Arsenal Football Club.
I think Wenger probably modernised English football when you think about it.
Oh yeah, he did.
But it's definitely
Ray Parlour tells.
And don't forget where he came from. He came from Grampian 8, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he had been. Yeah. I mean, it said when Wenger got the job that he was the best coach he ever played for, and he played for him at Monaco. When but Ray Parlour tells a story of they played in a cup semi-final or something, and they drew, and they had a replay on the Tuesday night, right, during the week, and on the way back on the plane from the first semi-final, wherever it was, Wenger comes up to Parlour and he said, you're allowed 2 beers. That's it. 2 beers, no more. Right? I need you to be really buzzing for the replay. So Parlour says, okay, Gaffer, we're fine. So he has his 2 beers, and then the plane lands and he gets off, jumps in the car, goes to the pub, has 4 or 5 pints there, goes home, gets the missus, they go out, have another few beers. Sunday down the pub. Sunday night, out to the pub, few beers, what have you. Monday, after training, lads stop for a couple. Plays on Tuesday night, and he scores 2 goals. They win. Wenger came up to him, he said, I told you if you weren't drinking, you'd have a great game. That's the way those lads were, though. I mean, that whole group of guys. I mean, look at what happened to Kenny Sansom from that group.
Yeah,
before Nigel Winterburn and Lee Dixon and those guys.
He played for England as well, didn't he, Kenny
Yeah, he
Sansom?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was the first £1 million fullback, wasn't he? Didn't he? Because
Yeah.
he was Arsenal. Arsenal paid $1 million for Clive Allen,
Yeah.
and then Arsenal swapped Clive Allen for Kenny Sansom, and without any money changing hands, but it was a £1 million deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was a fine. Kenny Sansom was a fine player.
Fucking
Sad what
fantastic.
happened to him, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the lads, if you ever want a good read, you should read Tony Adams' book. And I read what's his name, Merson's book as well. Have you ever read his one?
No.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one, and I mean, he has no secrets. He tells everything. Everything.
Well, I saw Tony Adams. I saw a few interviews he did on YouTube, and oh my goodness me, the stories. They're all happening back to the George Best era, I would say. Not mentioning George Best in the name of drink, but I mean, there was a huge drinking culture in the 70s and 80s
Oh
in,
yeah,
in sport. I mean, it was normal part and parcel of the game.
it
And
was. I mean, I don't know if I told the story here or not, but Keith Waller was telling me when Chelsea played Real Madrid in the Cup Winners' Cup final back in the 70s, 71, 72, something like that. He said they went to the final was in Athens, and there was no shootouts in those days. So if you drew, if it was a draw, and after extra time, then there was a replay. Well, they played on the Wednesday, and the replay is on the Friday. Well, the lads didn't have anywhere to stay, so they had to figure out a hotel to get. Or they had to reorganize the whole thing. They had no training kit, so they couldn't train. So what they did was they lay by the pool all day drinking. That was their answer to it. And they won it, so they ended up winning it. So.
It's one of those Arsenal players. I'm not going to mention the name because you can get sued on it, I think.
Yeah.
But one of the Arsenal players, he was one of the names he was mentioned in the names that we just spoke about. Maker.
Yeah.
Who obviously would take some bets from the players. And one of the Arsenal players spoke to him one day and said, I want to have a bet that we concede a throw-in within the first 2 minutes of the game. And the bookmaker was like, really? And this went on for months and months and months, where the whole of the Arsenal team, the backroom staff, the kitchen staff, were all putting bets on, because if they won the toss, the ball would go straight back to one of the players and he would just hoof it out to the wing and overcook it, and he would go out straight away for a throw. Right? And this Arsenal player reckons it took the bookmaker a year before he worked out what was going on. And the biggest threat to the whole of the Arsenal backroom staff and the catering and everybody, the groundsman at the training ground and at the football ground and everything else, they were all in on it. One of the groundsmen reckons he paid for his house on it.
Oh my God!
The biggest threat was, you've got to win the toss. You have to win the toss.
Oh yeah.
The toss. Someone's got to get that ball off, and within 2 minutes, and then it's going straight out for a throw-in.
Yeah.
And they went on for literally for a year, they reckon, before the
goodness me. I dare say there's a lot more subtle ways now of beating the bookies, I suppose, unfortunately. But we were talking about slow play. Here's an expert on slow play.
5 hours 40. Was anybody penalised yesterday? No. Christ almighty, last night was it 5 hours 40? Yeah. 5 hours 40. Trevino here, right? Trevino, 1971. He finished 14 under. won the championship, 14 under, Trevino. And he did it in less than 4 hours. A 3-ball. That wasn't a 2-ball, that was a 3-ball. How has it gone from less than 4 hours, or was it just about on 4 hours for the 3-ball, to 5 hours 40? How has it got to that stage? How has it got to that? TV hates it, spectators hate it. Too long, the chat between the caddy and the player, my God, it goes on forever. The book comes out, how many times? They got the bloody book out, the thing. Once that ball is placed on the green, it should not be marked again to get the line on the ball, and then this business about this, what do you call it, this aim point. Oh my God, don't talk to me about that. It's, oh God, it does my head in, the slow play. How do we get back to that? And I don't know. And yes, they say there's a deterrent for slow play, don't they? They say there's a huge deterrent for slow play. 5 hours 40, was anybody penalised yesterday? No. Something's got to be done because it's too slow, far too slow. And it's my really. If I had a bee in the bonnet, that was it. You know, slow play.
I think he says it all, really, you know. And as you said, the netbooks will kick up more when they're paying good money for coverage, and that they're expected to cover
Joe,
for 5 hours.
Just saying before we went live, that if Sky Sports didn't have golf and it was on the BBC or ITV or Channel 1 in Ireland or whatever channel it's on, because they are restricted to time bans, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. We've got to stop the news. We've got to stop for this. We've got to stop for EastEnders. EastEnders has got to run, right? It's got to be on time.
Yeah.
They would be putting pressure on the golfing organisation and the federations to say, you've got to do something about this slow play. Because, you know, you could have, I'm sure they'd switch a channel, but in the old days when BBC had 2 channels, sometimes if it was overrunning, they'd run on to BBC 2, wouldn't they? They'd cancel what was on BBC 2 and it would run to that. And you'd all switch over.
Right.
But in reality, nowadays, BBC 2 is as popular as BBC 1 is. But you'd sit there now, and they would be going, no, we've got a 5-hour window for this golf event. You've got to get these guys around in under 5 hours. Whereas Sky Sports doesn't matter. We'll just overrun, and the next program will start later. And again, there's no pressure from anybody out there putting pressure on these players. And like Monty says about, you know, aim point. You know, you've got. I'm not knocking aim point because aim point, in theory, works. But at the same time, there's one thing that you'll see players do. They'll stand astride the line of their putt, and they'll stand up dead straight, eyes sort of horizontal to a fixed point in the distance. And what they're trying to do then is work out which leg's lower than the other. So I went to an aim point seminar thing, and I put my hand up at that point when they were talking about that. And I said, naturally, everybody's one leg is shorter than the other. That's
true.
So what if my right leg's shorter than my left? I think everything's breaking to the right end. Because physically, that's what I'm feeling, aren't I?
Yeah.
And they were like, well, no. And you're like, well, of course I am. I'm tipped one way, aren't I?
Yeah.
And they were like, no, because your upper body would allow for that. You're like, I don't know how much shorter my right leg or my left leg is, though. So how am I adjusting for that? But if you watch the tournament, you know, those books they're talking about, who Monty's talking about.
Yeah.
Before the tournament starts, so St. Jude Classic last week.
Yeah.
Probably 2 months ago, there would have been someone there. Would have been an old caddy at one stage, mapping those greens with a spirit level. And I've seen it done. Every square yard, they mark it off with a T-peg on every single green. And then they put spirit levels down and it shows which way the contours are going.
Yeah.
Now, these guys are literally looking at mapping of a green to that extent. That to me is like, that's property surveying, isn't it?
It is.
That's not reading the green anymore. That's surveying the ground.
Yeah.
And you sit there, and I've looked at these books, and you go, Jesus Christ, how do you work this out? Because it's all gridded. There's arrows going here and there and this way and that way. And you sit there and go, Jesus Christ, no wonder it takes
5 hours. It takes.
it's literally like, wow. And there's a generation of golfer, not my generation, probably 2 generations after me, who have grown up with that. And at
Right.
5.5 hours, 6 hours is kind of normal. That's what we do. Like, as a kid, I mean, I would, as a caddy at Sudbury, we were allowed to play golf after 6 in the summer. And it was dark at what? 9:30, 10 o'clock?
Yeah.
We'd get 27 holes in that time.
Of course you would, yeah.
Admittedly, we were kids with 12, 14-year-olds, so we were running, really.
Yeah.
You're right.
But you get round, you'd play till it was dark. And it wouldn't be unusual for us to come up the 9th or down the 18th in darkness.
Yes.
Of course, it didn't matter. But what I mean is that I grew up with 3.5 hours. Like, what have you done out there? Have you had a heart attack out there?
Yeah.
And
No.
kids now growing up with 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's the norm. And you kind of go, it's not the norm. I mean, it's not the norm. And it.
Well, Monty is making the point there should be there is a provision in the rules for stroke penalties for slow play. They have a rule on slow play in golf, but it's never.
No one's got the bottle to do it. No one's got the kahunas to go up and go, right, you're slow.
It's like the 6-second rule, isn't it? There's a 6-second rule, but no one uses it. You know.
No.
But Darren, I mean, you said it there a few minutes ago. We all know because it's changing every game as we know it.
Yeah.
In TV, advertisers and the money that TV is paying to the sports is dictating how long the game is going to go. Why? I mean, now.
That's true.
You know, I mean, this is very easy to control. In sports, it's very easy to control, right?
Yeah.
The ball goes out and play. There's a free kick, whatever. Clock stops.
Yeah.
Right? And at the end of 45 minutes, that's what's been played because the clock restarts when the ball is back in play again.
Yeah.
Right? So you get your 40. So time wasting becomes irrelevant
It
at
does.
that point because you're not getting away with it.
I think
And
Still going to go.
I think I said on a previous show ages ago that I read somewhere in one of the papers, or it was on it was on the internet or something, that I can't remember which game it was, but it was a Premier League game with 2 big teams, and the ball was in play for 48 minutes out of 90.
Yeah.
That's
48 minutes.
that's shocking.
And
That's shocking.
like you just said there about stop the clock. Rugby do it.
They do?
Basketball does it.
Basketball, hockey does it.
Yeah.
Stop the clock. And it's not hard, is it?
No.
Here's an interesting one for you about slow play and different things. What's the biggest sport that's growing for TV audiences and audiences going to cricket? Oh, I've given it away. Going to watch a live game, and it's cricket because of the 20.
Yeah, 20
And the
series.
100. The 20 and the 100 are the biggest sports, the biggest audiences now in cricket's history going to see them. I mean, you've got places like the Ageas Bowl in Southampton.
Yeah.
Oh, 20,000. Full house every time there's a 20-20 or 100 on. Full house. And that's Southampton. In London, you've got the Oval and Lords, which are like 40,000 crowds. Full houses. Full up. Because it's like we know there's going to be 100 balls. And there's a time penalty if you overrun.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And you
Yeah,
sit there, you lose run,
yeah.
and you sit there and kind of go, so there's a sport, rugby's doing it, basketball does it, loads of sports do it,
Football, American football does it.
loads of them do it, and you sit there and go, why, if you were, I mean, to go, I think the cheapest ticket this season at Chelsea, 75 quid. Well, not being funny, 75 quid to go and watch a game of football when ball's only in play for 48 minutes.
Right.
It's a hard one to justify. We're talking here about there are, of course, there are rules in golf, but they're not implemented. That's what we're saying about slow play.
No one in the game of golf will do it, and it's ridiculous.
It makes so no. Anyway, we won't stay bashing golf long. Their media, SportsView, all the information is there. We're going to move along to this lady. Ireland had a good
What a
European
reaction when
Championship
you
in
when you
athletics.
crossed that line.
Oh my gosh, like unbelievable. I've dreamt of this moment since I started athletics, and a couple of years ago I would have probably never thought that it would have happened to me, but yeah, it's been a long 2 years. I know a lot of medals, but a lot of increasing pressure on every single competition, and each comp has been different, and trying to navigate that, and this competition was no different. It was difficult from start to finish, and I didn't have it easy for a single second. And yeah, this year's been really tough for like me personally. My granny died during the year, and I don't think I give my dad enough credit, but it really obviously hit home for him big time. And the way that he still turned up to training day in, day out, because this is my dream, but it's also a dream for him too. And yeah, I think that I have to dedicate this medal to my granny because she was both of our biggest fans, and she would have been jumping for joy if she was here to see this.
That's Cian O'Connor, who won the heptathlon gold in Birmingham, and as you can see, she's very emotional. But she also won the gold medal in the Commonwealth Games. She was born in Newry. She's living in Dundalk now, but as you know, anybody born in Northern Ireland has a dual passport, so they can declare for either side. So she has it both ways, as the man said, but she's a very, very talented lady, But I'll tell you, there's nothing better than interviewing an athlete or a sports person in any sport who before it is not spoken at all about, who's not expected to do anything, but yet achieve something, if you know what I mean. And here's a man that I can't stop laughing. In the 1500 meters, Andrew Cochrane ran into a bronze medal position, and there was three British runners in the final, and they were all behind him in fifth, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Andrew, you enjoy that?
That was class. There's so many Irish out there. That's crazy. Everyone out there singing. It's unreal.
Plenty of ole oles. I think Steve Cram even got involved up there.
He did. I think he started the chant at one stage there. He was loving it.
We spoke last night, obviously at post race, and you talked about the highs and lows over the last couple of years. Surely it was all worth it now for a moment like that.
Yeah, to stand up in front of so many Irish people there and get my medal, it was an unbelievable moment. I think I've had so many messages from everyone back home and everyone over here, and so much support, and thanks a million for everyone cheering me on and the words over the last day or so. It's been unbelievable.
There's a lot to take in, but has it sunk in any way?
Not yet. No, I think everything's a bit mad at the moment, so I'll take a minute to chill out and let everything sink in, and then I'll hopefully get a moment to enjoy it soon. And
I believe you're out on the bike this morning supporting the lads in the marathon.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think everyone from Ireland supports each other. So I was out doing a few loops around the marathon course and shouting the lads on. Everyone deserves a bit of support, I think.
And a man like yourself, I'm sure it was a quiet night last night, was it?
Yeah, of course. We're in the middle of the racing season, so back to business. Business is normal.
And your mum and dad were over, your family and friends. What's next for Andrew Costrin?
As I said, they're just still in the middle of the racing season, so back to training and keep the show on the roads. And then I'll get a chance to celebrate at the end of the season, but at the moment it's just business.
You must be looking forward to racing after a major championship, knowing that the form is there and the confidence you get from an experience like this.
Yeah, obviously the fitness is in a good place, so now it's just a free hit for the rest of the season. There's a few really good races coming up, so I'll just go out and give it socks, and this is the fun part of the season now.
And in tradition, everyone at home is going to want to see your medal. So can you show the medal to everyone at home?
There you go.
You got to turn it around as well. Bit of weight in that. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Andrew Coughlin, so he's 30, I think he's 30 years of age, so he's running a long time, but I suppose everything gives you a lift. And I must say a tribute to this man as well, who finished 10th in the marathon, or 9th, O'Leary, and a very, very credible performance as well. And he did very well.
I watched every day of the athletics, and I'm not I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Senseless, but I watched every day of it because there was nothing else to watch.
I don't know, yeah.
And I got into it, and I have to say, they reckon there was about 6,000 Irish in the crowd every day.
Yeah.
Well, the stadium only holds 20, and only on Saturday and Sunday was it full house.
That's
but
right.
A bit like that. I mean, that's a quarter of that crowd was Irish.
Yes. They flew over.
Brilliant. I mean, it was brilliant because they made the atmosphere.
They did. Even the English commentators were joined in.
Yeah, honestly, Steve Cram was loving it.
You know, the man that won the race for Spain his name was actually Paul McGrath, and when he won the medal, you can imagine what the Irish were chanting, "Ole, ole," you know, Paul McGrath, and it was just so funny. You know, he is Irish, father's Irish, but he was.
It was. They made that European Athletics Championship. The crowd.
Without a doubt.
I know there's a bit of Irish in me, but I have to come out with that bit.
Well, I mean, they did actually, because it was very dead there some mornings I was watching, there was no one in the stadium. Well, the reason there was no one in the stadium and the BBC never brought it up in any of the interviews with any of the officials was the horrendous price of tickets.
Yeah.
It was shocking. 120 quid a ticket. I mean, how could you bring your family to athletics? 120 quid. I mean, the price of a roll was £18.60 of a roll, an ordinary roll. I mean, it was just criminal, the prices, and they're expected to have the World Championships next year in London.
I don't get it. All these organisations and governing bodies and everything else, because to me, if you've got a half-empty stadium, give tickets to kids. Kids going to come with teachers or
the schools.
And if they see somebody doing really well and they go, cool, I want to have a go at the hurdles, for argument's sake, the pole vault.
Absolutely.
I don't get it, because to me, they all talk about how they're trying to grow the game at grassroots level and they're doing this, they're doing that. How many Premier League teams do not get rid of their allocation, i.e. for the Charity Shield yesterday?
Right.
How the hell has someone not? They've got these development officers who go around all the schools and all the rest of it. How is someone not going, these tickets are going to get returned? No one's going to buy them. You're not going to have Arsenal fans buying Man City tickets, are you? No. Because when they return them to Wembley ticket office can't sell that, technically. I know they will, but they're not supposed to because of the keeping the crowds separate.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there and you go, why doesn't someone who is supposedly growing the game go, give the tickets to the local kids, get kids in it?
Absolutely, and give it to schools as well, and the clubs, the local athletic clubs around Birmingham, get them all in.
I mean, you go to a GAA match, and they have a gate for what's it, Pat? Under 13s or under 15s?
Yeah, they had that.
You get in there for free.
Yeah, free gate. Yeah.
I mean, I would not have been besotted with football like I am if it had not been for the Marketsfield.
Yes, yeah.
Where at the top of Garryowen, where I live. I mean, following Pike Rovers when I was a child with my father was huge and got me into it. But then you go up to Marketsfield and at half time,
you see all the lads. You see all the lads.
And everyone, that anyone now could walk in for free.
Yeah.
Youngsters would go along the top of Gary Owen Road, where the turnstile, the main gate was, into the Marketfield, and said, "Mister, will you help me over the turnstile?" Yeah, hop over there, son. Over you go. And then he's with me, and that was it. And of course, that was the way it was, you know.
I know. I remember going into Tullis to a match. I was by myself. Suddenly, I had 3 kids with me. Going because no adult with them.
I grew up 500 yards away from Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
As a kid, you'd bunk in and you'd be pushed down to the front to watch it.
You would, yeah.
You weren't stuck halfway up the terraces, and I'm talking about standing behind the goals here. You know, it was before all seaters, stadiums, and all that crap. But they would go, "Oh, there's kids here. Let them down. Let them down."
And at GA matches, all the children were put inside in the sidelines all around the pitch. Small kids.
When Wasps used to play at Sudbury, which is the next town up from Wembley, and you'd go to Wasps play rugby when they played at a place called Vale Farm, right? You'd go to watch them play, and again the same thing. You were put down on the side of the pitch, and you didn't pay. You got taken in. That's the only way.
Talking back to the athletics are just over in Birmingham. The one athlete I feel sorry for is Keely Hutchinson, and the reason I feel sorry for her is the winner of the race should not have been allowed to participate in the race according to the rules. It doesn't matter whether she's the best runner or not. The rules were bent to leave her into the final. And as a result, Keely Hutchinson was denied a gold medal. Now, people might say, if she wasn't good enough to win the gold medal or in the race, but that's not the point. The point
But she would have been good enough if the other one hadn't been in it.
She would have won the race, yeah.
Yeah. So,
and the girl who came fourth would have won the bronze medal.
Yes, exactly right. And that's the whole thing with it, though, Pat. With all that cheating that came out with these Germans and the Russians afterwards, and then people retroactively getting gold and silver medals.
Yes.
What a moment was taken away from all those athletes by somebody cheating.
Yeah,
or somebody, just like happened at the World Cup, a guy that shouldn't have been playing gets to play. And took an opportunity away from somebody else.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's not the kid's fault, but it should not happen. It should not be allowed to happen.
It's not fair play, it's not fair play. And I was very disappointed because when I saw the playback, when I saw the camera, when I saw the incident again, obviously if you were tripped, it's a different matter. You'll be reinstated, because if you were tripped, it's not your fault. But she fell over her own feet.
Yeah, what they're saying is that Vero, the Swiss girl, her back leg, or trail leg, whatever we want to call it, was clipped by the girl's finger behind.
Finger.
Towards the back of her other standing leg. And you watch it, and they slowed it down on BBC, and even they were going, they're very, what's the word, non-biased, shall we say. And they were like, you had Steve Cram, you had Greg Rutherford, the long jumper, Paula Radcliffe, Andrew Cotter, Colin Jackson. And they were all going, that doesn't look like she's touched anybody's hand.
No.
Leg never gets high enough to touch someone's hand.
Right. I was going to say, you.
Like that. And you were like, but who did they blame? The girl behind who touched the foot with her hand was another Swiss girl.
Yeah.
So you can't go, that's just wrong. I mean, she tripped over herself. And like you just said, if that was a finger that glanced across her side of her trainer, running to, whatever. Really? Come on.
No. When the BBC played it back, and they played it from different angles, and I was convinced. I said, "She's out." I mean, you look at the video of it, she's gone.
Well,
And,
all those pundits said exactly the same thing, and they're all in the racing game, aren't they?
They're in the athletics game. They are.
They're all running.
And in fairness to them, I mean, I knew there'd be corruption along the way, as there is in every sport today, which is appalling altogether. You know, it's just not right. Simply, Wrexham are leading Cardiff City 1-0 at half time for those people who might be following those.
Welsh Derby.
Yeah, the Welsh Derby. Yeah, the first of the Welsh Derbies.
They reckon Sir Cardiff will tell you that Wrexham is South Liverpool.
Yeah, it is, yeah. South Liverpool are winning 1-0 against Cardiff City. We were no team to follow this year.
My dad would be rolling in his grave now.
Yeah.
Losing 1-0. Massive Cardiff fan.
Yeah. There's a long ways to go yet. I mean, they did very well to come up from the first division, and they'll find it going tough, but they have a good manager, a good cockman in charge of them. Brian Ballymurphy is the manager of Cardiff City. He's the son of the legendary Jimmy Ballymurphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian. So he had a good trainer. He was in charge of the youth team at Man City under Pep, so he had a good tutor in Pep. But anyway, I hope we picked up a few things. Anyway, we've come to the end of another show on SportsView. So if you want to tell all your friends about us, we're here every Monday night. The Premiership is beginning next weekend. We'll have much to talk about, and that cursed VAR will be back next weekend for all of you who are big fans of it, you know.
But the good news is we haven't got hydration breaks.
No.
But that's real good news.
There's a bright side to everything.
There is, yeah. I suppose I concede that, yeah. Don't say it too loudly. Infantino might be listening.
Yeah.
We're worried about him as well, aren't we?
So from Joe, from Devon, and from myself, till we meet again next Monday night. Take care. Have a good week, and we'll see you next Monday.
See you, boys.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.